Now, listen.
You ain't.
I know I'm color distorted, where I can't see the numbers,
But you like
the dotted numbers in the circle. But
does that mean something different? Where you from?
how long was it left on the stovetop? Right, like
Are you making your own butterscotch?
Oh my goodness. All
Asian
right.
black and butterscotch.
Yes.
Hey, YouTube, welcome. We are live on YouTube. I don't see Kevin on YouTube though.
Kevin, come
He's
on.
around.
Kevin, come on.
And,
Coming around the mountain.
We are also live on Zoom, just the same as well, or on Facebook as well. So at least I think we are.
We are up here on Al Gore's internet.
Okay, that's what's up.
Yeah.
So anyway, welcome to the Dope Black Thoughts special edition. This is, I guess this is, we supposed to be post-election day. I don't really know what it is.
This Facebook camera right here,
Facebook up there.
Welcome to another Dope Black Thoughts live on Facebook.
Yep.
We're everywhere right now.
We everywhere. This is how we doing it now. We doing it now. Big, I guess. I don't know. It ain't big.
If that's still legal after this election, so who
It
we
was
got
still legal.
doing it big as a black man in America? Good Lord.
Well,
I mean, do we got Biden?
And what?
Or do
Yes.
we have the white supremacist in chief?
Yes. So the answer to the question is yes.
Right. At this time,
If you went to bed last night and didn't know the outcome of the election, lucky for you,
ain't
nothing
nothing
changed.
changed.
And you still do not know the outcome of the election. As a matter of fact, my understanding is Philadelphia, city of brotherly love,
It better be brotherly love.
city of brotherly love. I'm Wakanda. We're still not. We might not get election results from them until Thursday.
but here's the great part. We don't need Philly. We don't need Pennsylvania
We'll take it.
whatsoever. But yo,
We
absolutely.
will take we will take your
Absolutely.
Philly. I'll take your Pennsylvania, but I'll raise you the other swing states so we win the 270 anyway.
And
We're
be
gonna
done
go
with this.
270 on the dot without an extra election.
270 is 270.
270 is 270.
270.
I think
So-
it still counts as a W in my column.
Yes.
What we're
Yes.
gonna do for you kids, we'll go through what we got left. We can also hit a couple of friends of the show. 17th to 18th, the first judicial district. All were doing really well. We can also talk about. I think Hashim had
Oh, me?
116.
Yeah.
The individual came
116.
on. And we can talk about what happened with 116.
Yeah.
Make sure your mic's on too.
And if we want a spokesperson, we can also get somebody in from 115 as well.
Yeah.
Oh, that was okay. Be great. Be great. So.
All right. So let's start off with the presidential race. Is that what we want to start out talking about, or do we want to go straight local? What's your thoughts?
It don't matter.
Shit.
Either way,
It don't matter.
Well, I say this. The global is gonna hurt our feelings, but I feel real good about what happened in Arapahoe County. So, whichever one y'all want to
So
say.
on the edge on rap. Okay.
The fact that we are even having this conversation,
Man.
True.
I've been living here for so long. The fact that we even have this conversation, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that right now. But we're gonna pull it out. Miss Patty's gonna pull it out. But as of now, somebody, what number are we at, guys?
Looks like we're 806 votes ahead of John Kellner. Amy Patton's campaign is within the margin, not the margin of error, but within the recount, the automatic recount margin. So we're,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah, it's interesting. So as we know, in 2024, these are going to split. The two districts are going to, if you say the 18th is going to split, the 18th district will strictly be Arapahoe County, and then the 25th or 23rd district.
I don't know their numbers.
23rd, maybe 24th. It's one of them will be strictly Lincoln, Lincoln, Elbert, and Douglas County.
Bye, Felicia.
And so that's probably
They're all going to be one county together.
They're going to be one county together. Yes, exactly.
So black people, non-white people,
My people.
do not get caught
I'm confused.
slipping in that new county.
Oh, that's
So wait, we had.
Okay,
Yeah,
slipping now.
I was gonna say we had a
I'm just
chance.
I'm just saying, it's going to be the less
All right,
of a
so
chance.
quickly, until this changes over, black people.
The answer is no.
I mean, like, it's going to be the less. Like,
Yeah.
okay, so like F happens at 50%, right? So be like at 35. After that happens, it's gonna be like 2. So
And
It's gonna be bad.
the down there, I've been practicing down there for 15, 16 years, and let's just be honest, I've been the only black defense attorney that's been down there. And I did it for a long time, and I tell you, it's different. When you pick juries, you'd be lucky if you get 1 or 2 black folks on the jury.
and this is why I was saying that the percent it's still an F in the 18th, but I was saying the percentage was just higher
Right.
because you have Arapahoe County feeds into it.
Yes.
And when y'all don't avoid jury duty,
Mhm.
which I don't understand why y'all avoid jury duty, especially in the state of Colorado.
Exactly.
Like, I mean,
Can you clarify what you mean by it's an F?
like it's still a horrible situation to be in.
Okay.
In the bloody 18th,
Okay.
right? Like you get charged in the 18th, and you like, what are my plea options?
Yes.
Because I know I'm right, right? I know all I was honest. And out of honesty, this is why you can't be honest. I'm not saying lie to the police. I'm saying don't talk to the police.
Yeah.
Be honest with your attorney.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Right.
Plead the fifth.
But your honesty can still allow you to be convicted under the law, even when you were in the right. Like it's funny. So anyway, you shoot the dice. You like, I'm going to get a jury. 12 people in my peers, and you like the numbers, and then like culturally, you like, I can't do jury duty, Your Honor. I ain't doing jury duty.
So
Right.
it's true. It's
Bro, this is your jury duty.
Jury
Please.
duty.
Please. The best part about that conversation specifically is, as you as a lawyer are fighting to keep certain people or people on the jury, they are the ones fighting you the hardest
To get them
to
on.
get off. And then we'll give you a look as in, hey man, good luck. F luck. I need you to stay. I need perspective on a jury, or this thing does not work.
So the last time that I had a jury trial down there, it was on an aggravated robbery case. My client was he was actually Mexican. He was from Mexico, and he said he was part of a cartel. And they claimed he took a drill and drilled it into the head of another person. But anyway, the point is, I had a black juror.
What did they do to him?
Well, I had one black juror. Here's the problem, though: is that juror knew me, and the reason why he knew me is because he was the opposite attorney on a civil case that I was basically prosecuting as a plaintiff's attorney. So the judge says, "Do you know any of the attorneys?" And he looks around and he raises his head and he says, I know Mr. Ivy. And the judge said, "Do you want to tell me why?" He said, "I probably shouldn't." And of course he removed himself.
Yeah.
And that was our hope, it just had somebody who looked like you. So as an attorney, you could look over there and say, okay, I'm talking to you. Didn't happen anyway. The client was convicted, but it just is what it is. It is tough. And I would ask somebody to look up the stats on how many black defendants have won trials there. Now, the last major trial that took place was a trial on a Pippin case. I actually used to represent the guy before I got off. Pippin case, he got the second most number of years for conviction in the state period. So the original conviction was a Pippin case in Arapahoe County. The guy got 400 years. Why would you get 400 years? Not since the biblical times.
Was it trafficking?
They said it was trafficking, although it wasn't trafficking, but that's what gets people. You say trafficking and they charge. Yes.
Yeah.
So he got
That's some
400
Dave
years.
Young's punk ass shit. did to me.
We are live. And so this
7 seconds.
Right.
We on delay right there.
Grab the kids.
I think he got 304 years. Young black man. He was like 28, 304 years. Now we know that no one lives that amount.
Man, I'm gonna go ahead and sit down and just do this 304 years real quick. I'm gonna do my time.
So one thing, as you were saying, that I thought about, this is why we need to legalize prostitution, right? Or decriminalize sex work,
should be decriminalized.
whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, you're right, because if we legalize prostitution as we already have, it's called elections.
Right.
But so we should decriminalize or legalize sex work.
just allow them to operate as adults with autonomy over their own
Over their
bodies.
own
And if
bodies.
they want to make
You're right.
adult decisions and make a transaction with another.
And until that
consensual adult,
happens,
if they're being trafficked, that's illegal.
right. And so it'll free up resources to target trafficking.
Yes.
But until that happens, just record yourself and say you're making porn, and like that way it's legal.
Or just put a ring on their finger. Oh,
What are we talking about?
decriminalization,
Right.
Reno. You know, you ever heard of Nevada?
Beating the system.
Bunny Ranch.
Yeah, avoiding being charged for what you decide to do to somebody.
Only
Waiting for results from Atlanta.
And what are
How's it called? The Clorox spray. Clean this up.
Looking for Atlanta. Yeah, we need that Atlanta boat. Go ahead. Sorry.
Ain't nothing like a strip club. Man. No, let me-
Atlantic and Savannah. We need both of them.
Is it only
But
Magic
nah.
City in Atlanta?
No, there's a few others.
All right.
I'm headed there.
Okay.
I'm joking. I'm not serious. But anyway, I'm joking.
Hey,
I
Mom.
was talking about.
None of the restrictions.
Right. I thought there was restrictions.
There might be. I don't know.
Don't take that in my, don't take that as serious. I'm not. I'm there for business purposes.
Business only.
That's it.
Oldest profession in the world. All right.
Okay.
Listen, this is how Black people cope.
Yeah,
with
we call
stress and
That's
trauma.
right. Exactly.
This is just
2-3 break.
yeah.
I
That's
mean,
what
we
we
just
do.
had the world's greatest debate last night, and everyone agreed that Andre 3000 was the best MC of all time.
No, we did not. But
1 out of 4 black men agreed in that area.
Okay, so beyond that,
Did you vote?
Before I fell asleep, yes.
hey,
We were posting that to the Dope Black Live channel. Machine waiting for results.
so I'm checking the current numbers right now. Joe Biden is at 248. Donald Trump is at 214. So here's the key right here.
32 miles all we need.
In terms of battleground states, Michigan, Biden is up 49% to 48%, and Michigan is showing 99% reporting. And so right now he has a 70,000 vote lead in Michigan.
Oh yeah, we're good.
I
And
just
so 1% should not overtake 70,000. Now, Trump has already said today that he will sue everybody in Wisconsin and Michigan.
soon.
So let's look at Wisconsin too real quickly, which has already been called.
He can't afford it.
He can't afford it. Wisconsin.
Actually,
You can't. 'cause
His
it's-
whole point is, if I
Oh,
am
wait.
no longer president, I need to get a job.
I take that back. It just literally updated AP, and I use Apple News. It just updated.
Get to the numbers.
Apple News.
Oh no! Shut up.
You know, Apple.
It is showing that Biden has 264 votes.
Because they
Oh,
haven't
we-
counted Nevada.
We need 6 more.
No.
And Nevada will be 6.
Nevada's the 6th.
So, that was yes.
Yeah,
Okay,
we need 6 more.
okay. Everybody agrees.
So,
Everybody agrees.
so the update is that they're calling
They're
Michigan.
calling Michigan.
So they're calling Michigan, but they're not calling Nevada yet.
All right.
Correct.
So Wisconsin is still within the recount margin.
Let me show you
Right.
here. Y'all can see it there. It's backwards.
Back it up a little bit.
264 to 214.
Wisconsin's still in the recount margin. If he can hold Wisconsin, which has already been called, hold Michigan has already been called, hold Nevada, which is the last 6, it does not matter what happens in Magic City, North Carolina, or Pennsylvania.
That is correct.
But we still take it.
Yes, and so in other words,
Single parent.
if Biden gets Nevada, he will be at 270 on the dot. If Trump gets the other 3 states, he will be at 254, I believe.
Now, the important part about the last 2 states, I don't know too much about North Carolina. The important part about Atlanta is that Atlanta's been split into 2 counties. We've got 1 county that's already reported, but the other half, the other county, has not reported, and that is the core of what Joe Biden needs. And Philadelphia, he needs Atlanta, Philadelphia, and Pittsburgh out of Pennsylvania, and then he can carry both Georgia and Pennsylvania. And then that means that you guys need to leave Nate Silver alone because he was actually pretty close to being right.
Yeah, so looking at Pennsylvania right now, there is 87% reporting.
Yeah.
Trump has 3.1 million votes. Biden has 2.8 million votes. He's 51 to 47% right now. And in
That's-
Pennsylvania,
Without counting,
87% reported.
without Philly, that's without counting Philly and Pittsburgh.
Why is it without Philly and Pittsburgh?
Because they take too
They
long
take,
to
they take
count.
the longest, and that's the bigger pockets of your.
That's where they stack us up.
That's it.
That's what the red line.
Now,
Just said.
Didn't
We'll bring it up
Pennsylvania?
tomorrow. We'll bring up the red line tomorrow.
And I want to talk about how Black people need to be rewarded for saving this country. Okay.
Once again, wasn't there a ruling in Pennsylvania?
Yeah, they said they're going to allow. Trump tried to file a motion with the court saying to make them stop counting, right? Because all of these are absentee ballots. All these are absentee ballots. Because Democrats have been voting since since they opened voting, since they opened it out, and so there's all of these are absentee ballots. And Trump's argument was if you haven't counted it by Tuesday night, then you shouldn't have to count it.
Yes, that was.
Yeah, he said you had months to vote. Yeah, I remember that.
But
Months
because
to vote.
Philadelphia's rule is that you do not start counting
Until it's done.
until the day of. So
Okay.
Florida's been counting since early voting started. So Florida was done. Florida, same size. Early voting was done. You guys, they call Florida at like 7:05.
Fornicate, Florida.
Yep.
But Pennsylvania did not start counting until yesterday morning.
So but here's the thing.
It took a day.
How his grammar is messed up, right? He was like, you stop counting, but you had months to vote. Well, I voted early, right? So you just
I know,
how
we
people
didn't
bring us
agree
the
to
logic,
Yes.
like because of your own statement, because I had time to vote, I voted. Now you're trying to say my vote shouldn't count.
Here's the thing.
That's the mess.
There, you can look and see there's concerted effort by a certain party to stop counting.
The blatant behavior to just say we're not going to count these votes. We want this to kick out the window. How the hell is this okay with you, America?
Now,
That's the question.
this last thing, that like I said, there's a certain effort by a certain party to have them stop counting. If we stop counting right now, the race would be over and Joe Biden is president.
Very true. Now,
Like, don't stop.
I want to get to that real quick.
Actually, it wouldn't be.
Go ahead.
No, because he would win. He would win Nevada because he's ahead in Nevada. And
If they stop counting, call Nevada. Everybody call him.
That would be
Chip's
gay.
call, right? Okay.
Yeah.
So here's the thing about Florida. So Trump won Florida 5.6 million to 5.2 million. But here's the thing. There was a report that came out today. I like AP News. They're the most central of all news. And there was a 27% of the ballots were not mailed by the
Yeah,
post office.
27.
So 27, so think about that. So you have 3/4 made it, but 1/4 did not make it.
wait, what?
Yeah.
All right.
There's no logic to this.
What you said?
And all of this.
We're not mailed, meaning they did not
No,
go
they
to
mailed, but they were held up.
So they weren't counted?
They didn't make it to the houses of the people.
And we just have to be careful because none of this is substantiated yet.
Well,
AP probably substantiated it.
AP substantiated.
All right, so okay, all right, fine. Allegedly, this is what's happening. But this is what's
They
going on.
didn't get
And
to the
we're-
houses.
This is under investigation, right?
I hope so.
I hope so.
Ah,
27%. Could that
But-
27% change the tide?
Let's slow it down. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. But no, actually no. Because the game, look, if we are, Nevada comes in, everything else is cherry on top.
Mhm.
Everything else is cherry on top.
Great.
That means the polls are right. That means if if Georgia comes in, North
Nate
Carolina
Silver
comes
keeps his
in,
job.
Nate Silver, woo!
Rich white man, he'll be all right.
Yeah,
Well,
he's-
If you
Where these
find
wrong
something else to do, he needs to
Yeah,
do
right.
something else.
Yeah, all right.
Like fifth grade election or something. But if Nate, that means Pennsylvania, Georgia, and Pennsylvania, Georgia, North Carolina come in. That means that blue wave everybody was talking about is real.
Actually,
Right.
no.
But
I was saying.
dude, yeah.
Well, it's not Arizona is a wave.
That's more like a splash.
Okay, there's a big splash.
That
was a red
He
state.
As of right now, the only state that flipped was Arizona.
But that's not a wave, y'all.
Well, think about a flip. Michigan.
Because the Senate is the same.
Well,
The Senate, the
Oh,
Senate,
you know what?
True,
Take that
Senate
back.
beach
Take that
towel
back.
is still
Take that
dry.
Take that back.
True.
Michigan, they just called, you're right, they called
Wisconsin.
Michigan and they called Wisconsin, so I take that back. But as of last night, the only one was Arizona, but as of now, Michigan and Wisconsin.
Michigan's was
Man,
ours.
look, no Black Thought said it first.
We got it back.
better be
Thank
all
you.
over these white supremacist militia groups, all these gun enthusiasts that are strong Republican and Trump supporters that have been talking about a civil war. They need to be watching them, seeing how they move, how they mobilize, and how they communicate on social media.
Oh, they can just treat like black people and kill
Yeah,
them right now.
treat them like black people, however they were going to treat black people. You know, and watch every single hair on their head, right? Because everything is falling out of their grasp as we speak.
Yeah.
Nobody has started firing bullets.
Well, that's the best part of the whole conversation. This is, what time is it?
407 here.
407.
607 in the East Coast.
I just watched the reaction to Hammer.
All right, 407, and there have been no riots, right?
Sure.
We didn't burn anything
Well, I
down.
heard Washington. There's
Well, they're still
Washington
counting.
State.
And so
Right.
you got folks who are holding out to say what's going to happen.
We have a president who has been preaching constant division.
Yeah.
Constant division. Even that last night, even Fox News was talking about how no, there is no winner. Stop calling it. Even Twitter put a disclaimer on the president's statement saying that he won. But even that, even though the president's doing everything he can to sow division and to make us not believe the results, there's been no rioting. Nothing's been burnt down. It's Wednesday. I think there's a new episode of Blackish. I saw that.
When's Insecure coming back with us?
Dude,
Mandalorian.
Bang.
The Mandalorian.
Oh, that's on. But when's Insecure coming back?
What
This
is
is
it?
this with the culture.
I'm just seeing
Wait,
it.
is it really?
When was he in the
Yeah, it's not canceled. She ain't done.
It's not over. It just season four. Season four wrapped up.
But then we just wrapped up season.
It don't matter. We need
It
it.
didn't just get wrapped up. That was like
You know what?
You know what? The country needs Insecure to come back.
We need it. You know why we need it? Because we were cheated on Lovecraft Country. They didn't give us the full
Nah, you know
18
what?
episodes they should have given us.
We were cheated
I
on
didn't
that.
watch that.
We were cheated on that.
Is that one
I have to watch
It's
that.
one movie and it was horrible.
I heard it was terrible, which is why I didn't watch it.
What is that?
Was it a Tyler Perry movie?
We were cheated on the Mia Halloween movie. I'm not saying.
Hey, and more importantly,
I'm sorry.
I don't see me popping up when I talk on this Zoom.
Oh, I
I
see.
see you right now.
I'm just making sure. Okay, it's my.
Oh, by the way, everyone, we looking at 2 cameras. We on YouTube Live as well, and we are also on.
See, now that's Facebook. No one's looking at the Facebook family.
Well, I'm looking at the
I am.
Facebook.
Okay.
I'm looking at you.
I didn't share
Because I want you to
Facebook.
know, Facebook's got a better view. It's got full view, but you know, we giving love to
So
YouTube
get a
just the
little bit
same.
more of that. You know.
Oh, and by the way, stay tuned as we debate best rappers. Not today though. It's not a debate.
It's not.
It's a debate,
It
guys.
is because.
There's somebody who knows the answer,
Oh.
and then there's 3 people who are confused.
All right, so nonetheless,
That's the narrative of every person in this room.
And this is why we can't get ahead.
and so
as a people.
and so breaking, yes, Biden wins Michigan. AP has called it along with every other person. has called it. So let's just recap real quickly. The states that are leaning toward Trump is Alaska, Pennsylvania, North Carolina, and Georgia. Now I did the math because I got the map up combining those electoral votes. Alaska has 2. North Carolina has 15. That's
No,
17.
Alaska has 3.
No, oh, so you're right. Alaska has 3. That's right. North Carolina has 15, so that's 18.
That's the Alaskan knowledge.
Georgia has 16, and what you call it has 20. So it's
Pennsylvania.
26. Pennsylvania, yes, yeah. So if you add that to his current total, that will put him at 254. If he gets all 4 of those.
That's not enough, is it?
No.
Is that 270?
No. That's 254 total.
No, wait. We're missing.
Wait.
We're missing. That's not.
Somebody got a calculator. I'm a
Yo,
lawyer. I don't
they're
know this.
attorneys, not like don't judge them.
All right, 26 plus 3 is 29.
Mhm.
29 plus 15. If that was 30, so that'd be 45, 44. So 44 plus 214. That's 268.
So we need to do small.
Hey, he
268.
needs another state.
He would need
He
another
needs
state.
Nevada.
He would need
He has to
Nevada.
run
Yeah, he
this-
needs Nevada.
He has to run the table. And this is B County, Alaska. I'm just going to give him Alaska, right? He needs to run the table
Mhm,
because his outs were Michigan and Wisconsin, and they're gone.
mhm.
So he has to run the table and pick up the Nevada.
Correct.
So what he wants to do right now is, hey, can I just trade Alaska for Nevada?
Turner's back on, yeah.
I died.
Who's
Yeah.
that?
Oh,
Trump. That's what he would
That's what he
need.
needs?
Yeah, he needs four more. So if he
Does
split
Trump
up-
need four more or does Biden need four more?
no,
Biden
Biden
needs-
needs
No, if
six.
Trump were to win all of his swing states that are leaning his way, he would be four short. So he would need to trade Nevada if he could win that.
Yeah.
And trade
So-
for Alaska.
What I need to happen right now, as a thank you.
But he wanted to sell Puerto Rico.
So they need to
for
go
like-
ahead and say thank you to Black people of Wayne County.
Wayne County?
Yeah,
What state?
Michigan.
Michigan.
Yeah, I'm getting finished. Like, come on.
My bad.
The county that Detroit, Michigan sits in,
Okay.
right? And by that, they could release Kwame Kilpatrick.
Oh no.
Why not? Why not? So there have been people that have done the same crime.
Hold on.
One,
I'm trying to mute.
two.
So
Two.
this race is gonna be crazy. It's gonna be 270 to 268.
You guys are really glossing over this.
I don't know anything about Kwame Kilpatrick.
And
I heard
you
that.
don't need to. He's fine.
He's been sentenced, as a Black man has been sentenced in America for doing less than white men have done and have been convicted of in America. So yeah,
I have to look
Yes.
at it. I got my
I am
phone.
not on the
I'm
Kwame
saying-
Kilpatrick bandwagon.
I'm saying make it equal, make it fair,
Wow.
and he should be out by now.
How long's it been in?
Too long. So he went in 2013.
Caravans down up there and go say Kwame Kilpatrick.
I'm not doing all that. I'm saying this.
So he's gonna make a T-shirt. Those work, right?
And you can thank the state of Michigan by fixing the water supply. And
Now there you go. I'll get behind that.
and I want it all. And
I'll get behind.
Just get behind what you can get behind.
Yeah, there you go.
reparations comes in many forms.
I am
We
not
want
on the
both.
reparation for Kwame Kilpatrick train.
Nobody's perfect. Nobody's perfect.
All right, you went dark again. But
Good. That's the Lord saying, shut up.
Hey, cause she's over here doing some stuff to my feed. Cause you don't like my Kwame Kilpatrick take.
I've read one of my locks for the culture.
so,
Release some juju.
but y'all realize how close this race is, and I just want to reflect on that for a
Yeah,
minute.
that's actually.
268. If everything holds the way it is, Biden will have 270, and Trump will have 268. Look how close that is.
And I'm nauseous because of it.
The fact that the race is this close.
After 5 years
And
of public display
Yes.
of racism, misogyny, xenophobia,
Carter, I'm looking at your high
poor
school.
ethics.
I'm looking at your yearbook photo.
wow.
Their glamour shots photo. It took America this long, the margin is this close for us to have the decision that we
I
have
can't-
now. America,
I'm leaving it alone.
your fetish, your kink with
You just look at
racism
camera.
has to be broken.
The other way.
Oh, but
There you go.
At some point, they gotta get tired of it.
It has to be broken.
Like that dude, the Princeton professor that we were listening to on that. That actual, it was a rant from like a year ago.
August 2019.
He was saying he want to free white people from like the burden of whiteness, because that's actually something that was constructed here in America. They were not called white people. That was a social
He said it was
construct.
constructed here. So this young man needs to read the books now.
No,
he's a Princeton
No, he's a Princeton
Okay,
professor.
what's
No. You need to see.
It
what
means
he
a lot.
said.
No, it doesn't.
The whole rant was
Something.
amazing.
Trump went to Ivy League.
But Trump didn't actually.
Was it true, Ivy League?
George Bush did. He went to Yale. Like,
That's
But
true.
they can probably find the people that make that success. This dude's a professor.
what does that mean? There have been people that are professors and medical documents, MDs that said our brains were smaller. Like, I don't care just because what they do with their credentials are just never
God,
makes
listen
no
to his name.
difference.
Look, I'm saying it like this because that's kind of a shorthand for how much I respect his actual intellect. Not because his title actually gives him authority, because that is a logical fallacy. That's a argumentum that's a argument from authority fallacy, which is not how you prove someone's correct. So you're right on that point.
I know.
But this man is actually very learned and very intelligent.
Yeah.
And what he was saying was, those are shackles and chains that American society put on people, as well as blackness. So you
The host got all three of them. He was the only black guy on stage. It was MSNBC. The other three were all white. They all got emotional.
Yeah. What he was saying was you want to free them from being
AOC
white,
had retweeted.
free them from being white. You just want people to be people. Is what you're looking for eventually. If we're all equal, if we're all the same, then we're just people, and we're not calling people out by certain colors that no one actually.
Okay, so that's like
deserves.
so way down the line.
I hear that way down the line. So it's the Medicare for all conversation,
So
and the reparational
I
conversation.
mean, like, you
But-
know,
but
if
I
I
guess-
worked out right and properly, I look decent in a speedo.
Absolutely, but you can watch that
But
90-minute
until-
six-pack out.
But until I get there, that's really irrelevant.
So, I agree, because right now, what is disheartening to me is the fact that I can tell you how many Americans. So far, we have a total of, let's see, 71,180 votes for Biden. He's at 50% in the popular vote. Trump, 68 million votes, 48%. So you have 68 million people who are willing to ignore the fact that he's a liar, he's a racist, he's a homophobe, a xenophobe, you name it all.
What I would say is what's scarier is not that they are willing to ignore that candidate. That's their candidate. That's who they want to vote for. What's scarier is they don't have a problem with the bastardization of a democracy. They are fine. That group is fine if, despite everything that just happened, despite all the numbers, and despite the fact that I believe it's still like 3 to 4 million people have voted for Biden. 3 to 4 more
History.
have voted for Biden. More.
3.1 million more
And they are
votes.
still saying that the election is not legitimate.
But they'll pick up their gun if they find out that 9 ballots were thrown away.
But that's the
But the 3 million people who voted, and you want to go the opposite direction with
It's
the
a fight
election.
against-
Oh, we're a republic, not a democracy.
it's a fight against the democracy is the scary part. It's not the you get to pick your candidate, fine. I get to call I see the warts on your candidate. I see it. If you don't see it, fine. But the fact that we can't even have a conversation where which one I'm saying, where we can agree on a democracy.
Right.
We're mad. They're not mad that democracy is being cheated, right? When they
Right.
won,
I hear
when they
what you're
won the
saying.
election by more votes, the candidate had fewer votes that won. They're mad because their guy is being cheated, and by they believe they're being cheated, even though the person with the most votes is in the lead, and the person with the most votes did not win in 2016, but they're completely okay with that.
Well, I mean, in their defense,
Well, then go ahead.
that is the system that we're in. And those are the rules. And this is why the Democratic Party should have continue to run on. We need to abolish the Electoral College.
All day.
Is
But-
that part of the platform?
Well, for 17 states so far, since they know we can't abolish it pursuant to the Constitution,
Mhm.
because what it takes to change the Constitution, what is it, 3/4 of the states?
This
Has
is
to
too
be
high level
agreed.
right now for the
Well, no.
electorate,
Mhm.
right? So whether that can happen or not,
Right.
that should have been part of the messaging to get the people, to get the votes out, because we need to give the people hope, right?
Well-
And the hope is talking about how we acknowledge the Electoral College is racist.
Quiet as cat. Look at Maine, look at Nebraska. They have every other state, winner take all,
It's winner take all, yeah.
except for Nebraska
Indy too.
and Maine, where in which they break it up.
2 or 3, something like that, yeah.
And if you look, because we were all adding up to 270, if you look, now we probably don't have the population results of Nebraska,
Omaha County.
but Omaha has a distinct flavor that the rest of Nebraska does not share, and that is one vote that went to Biden out of Nebraska.
Is that flavor Lowry's or seasonal?
I perchance.
It could be either one.
I mean,
Either answer is okay.
Is it slap your mind?
You know, it could be
Yeah.
Tony
It is
Sasser.
not raisins in the potato salad.
Or is it all
Right.
Raisins in the potato salad. It makes you feel better.
Right. Hey, I'm happy with seasonal or Lowry's.
Ash to the shack.
Talk to your
So,
relatives
you're
about
right.
that.
You're right, and so that's the interesting part, because those are the only states that do this right now, where winner doesn't take all. But we had Proposition 116.
In here.
Was it 116?
No, what are you talking about?
No, one on 16.
For the vote, it's 113.
113, yes, sir. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Come on, in here.
I know what you mean, man.
Yeah.
See, that's why I'm gonna let you finish it out.
Oh, he said that. And so we could effectively make the electoral college obsolete. And you only need so many states. I think you only need somewhat 22, 23 states to get to that point.
So this is in y'all's bailiwick about that. Can you do that? If we haven't gotten rid of the electoral college based upon the work that Phil Weiser just did and said that you have to vote how the delegates go, like that's way out of my
Why would you
capacity.
as a Wyoming ever vote for that? As somebody from Alaska, from South Dakota, North Dakota, Montana, that red line, why would you ever vote to destroy the electoral college?
You wouldn't.
Is that what we call you from Wyoming?
Wasn't the electoral college
Wyoming?
developed for this very purpose?
Wyoming,
Stay focused. Stay focused. I know what you mean.
Thank you.
Help us out there.
And that's exactly why we need to free Kwame.
Hey, can you check the comments? Because my phone and computer's on.
So I mean,
We good.
why
I'm
would you
looking at it
ever?
right now.
Why would you ever in these little bitty single state or single electoral 3 and 4? Why would you ever? Idaho, beautiful dude. Idaho, Montana, South Dakota, North Dakota, Wyoming. Why would you ever agree to that? Because that means your vote. First of all, your vote already counts outside to everybody else's vote, right?
That's unfair. That's undemocratic.
That's the system.
All right.
There was like 7 to 10 times as powerful as someone in California's vote.
Oh, there are more people in Southern California than all those states I just named.
Come on.
That's all those states.
So like, you're gonna take away my vote? Like, no, we're giving the people their vote. And the
More people in Southern California.
So
So somebody just wrote, Joe Zimnick said, National Popular Vote Compact takes effect once state totaling at least 270 votes sign on to it. It doesn't get rid of the electoral college, which I said, it doesn't get rid of it, but it does make it obsolete in that aspect.
It matches.
I'm sorry, run that down for me, because
It matches the vote to the electoral college. It matches Colorado's, I think we're at 9 electoral votes to whatever the national
Popularity
population is.
counts, yes. So as soon as you get enough states in their electoral college votes that sign on to the national compact, if it totals 270, that would take effect. It would effectively make the electoral college obsolete.
Because one of the things about the electoral college is that it is inherently uneven. There are certain places that get more. You're one vote, one person, but there are certain places that their votes count more.
Mhm.
And the elimination of the electoral college or tying our vote to the popular vote means closer to one person, one vote.
Which we don't have.
no.
No, this is a representative democracy.
And
When it comes to the president, everything else is one person, one vote.
Please understand that, everybody. That's only affects the presidents.
Right.
So when people tell you like vote for governor, vote for senator, vote.
yeah, you still,
There's no like,
Don't be like, no, electoral college. Chiefs.
Colorado would still vote for.
Increase your assumed IQ and understand that it only affects the president's office.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. So listen, we ran on and talked about that. I still have an issue with the fact that, so I'm gonna give you some real quickly, and y'all heard me talk about this, how I've had family and friends say, well, it's not about the man, it's about the man's policies.
yeah.
And so my comeback to that has always been, what do you think shapes the man's policies? Is it his beliefs, his backgrounds? How does he operate? If he doesn't want to sell to a rent to a black family, don't you think he's fashioning policies that go that
Well,
route?
what makes you think he don't want to rent to a black family?
Because he sued.
Oh, did he lose that lawsuit?
He got sued by a bunch of black families.
He had to pay millions of dollars before he would rent to black people? That's what a racist person would do. What do you do to the exonerated 5?
Well, here, let me.
Took out a Facebook or a whole
Oh, no, it was
ad?
Yeah, in the New York Times.
Somebody had framed it for him on a nice big wooden plaque.
Did he sign it?
Bring back the death penalty.
Yeah, for these innocent black men.
But so listen, let's look at that because it's coded. They did not commit murder.
They did not.
Don't we use the death penalty for murder?
Yeah.
So the insinuation
Or
that these
how
black
much kidnapping.
men raped a white woman, he was okay with bringing back the death penalty. So we know all the black people that have died. We don't know them all, but we know there's been a high number of black people that have died from an allegation of rape, right? From a lie of rape, from a wink, a lie of a wink, a lie of a whistle of towards a white woman.
And he went. Oh, go ahead.
So
No.
yeah, so he wanted to bring back this. Like it's all rich coded message, and if you study history,
Let me
these type of
respond to
things
this.
bring out to you.
I'm sorry, let me respond to this question. One person asked, Tay Aiko,
Mhm.
would making the Electoral College obsolete be subject to judicial review? No.
That's on there.
And here's the reason why. What is it, the 13th and 14th Amendment that gives the states the right?
Everything not given to the
Federal government.
everything not given to the federal government.
And so in this
We're
case,
gonna
you got
jump in.
individual states that will be voting to join a national compact. That is above judicial review. And I can't even think under what scenario the judicial review could come in and say, listen, I know, yeah, all you states voted for this, but it's illegitimate. There's
In
no-
order for it to be an amendment to the Constitution, that makes it constitutional.
Right.
So in order for it to happen, and whatever the number is ratified, it would have to be constitutional, which I believe means it wouldn't be up to judicial review, but you guys can look that up.
Yeah.
That's 60 plus 1 or something? Or
Well, if we're talking about changing the Constitution,
2/3?
it's 3/4.
And that's the reason you have to do that is because it is written into the Constitution.
Supermajority exists if you want to change the Constitution, which is why it's so difficult, except if you're in the state of Colorado. You change the Constitution.
That's actually
85%. That's all you need.
Yeah.
And that was a good point.
That's so hard.
What I was thinking was, I think we get caught up in the rhetoric of Trump because he is spewing.
You're muted, by the way, but we can hear you.
Okay. But he's spewing this nonsense, this race, dude. Objectively,
Yeah.
he's spewing this racist nonsense. He is not effective. What you need to be afraid of and what y'all need to be watching was the Republicans, despite him spinning around like a top, will consider his presidency a success because he got 3 Supreme Court justices.
And a ton of other judges.
All right, you got to think about that. And when these justices and when these judges are put in, what they are doing as a electorate, they are denying you access.
Mhm.
When these judges, these conservative judges, gets placed on the bench, they deny you. When I say you, I mean people, small. You is the one person. When you need protection from your landlord, from the police, from the government, the protections
Big
come-
government.
And this is not just black people.
Thank
This is
you.
all
The
people.
protections come from the judges. And the reason they want conservative judges is because they deny access to the courts to the people, singular, you.
They side on behalf of major corporations and on governmental entities.
So the Republicans are happy with the administration because they got all
Authoritarian.
those judges.
And they got the damn tax cut.
And then they got
That was it.
But by the way, people, let's just be real. If you actually read the tax code with respect to that, the tax cut only goes on, only goes on for like 2 years, and then taxes start to incrementally rise immediately after that, next 3 or 4 years. So they'll start to rise. So in other words, talk to your accountant. And there you go.
Fair enough.
Come on.
He has an accountant.
Come on, Ashik. Come on.
Pick you up.
Get it. Get it.
And that is
Talk to your accountant.
And that is civics lesson
I'm about to talk
401.
about this in the barbershop.
We don't have
That's your butler.
Tell your butler to call your
Wait a
accountant.
second, who's the only one that has maids here? It just keeps, I can't see that. I wish.
Sometimes it be your own ones, man. It be your own
Black hands
ones.
and these are not messy.
Yeah.
So back to the black people.
Get your hand out my pocket. Right.
So back to the exonerated file. Donald Trump was advocating for the death penalty for a rape case.
Not only that, he was a private citizen who took out a freaking newspaper ad.
Yeah, a page.
The biggest newspaper in the country to condemn something he had no clue about.
But here's another thing, though. Who else did he advocate for the death penalty for? Because he's not racist, right? So I'm sure there were some other rape cases out there, and I'm sure he was advocating for
He's
the
just
death
out there
penalty.
doing good.
Oh, and I forget the white guy's name. White preppy kid looking like dude that was doing these rapes. Like,
Oh, the one in
Oh,
Stanford.
by the way,
Yes.
Fox gave up. They're saying Trump 2024 now.
not from behind bars.
Facts, so-
Come on, Southern District.
So anyway, that was
Come on,
civics
Southern
lesson
District.
class 405. We don't do
Wow.
civics 101 here. We do 401 here.
Yeah, you break that up.
So
That's
anyway,
free.
Is it?
all right.
That
So,
was good news. That's good news here. So,
I'm
wait,
sorry.
so they're calling it. It's official.
well,
No.
no, it's not official, but Fox is basically giving up and they're counting Trump 2024. But what
I come
Trump?
back.
But
How old will Donald Trump be?
hopefully he will be.
Hopefully the Lord will show himself true.
I believe someone should tap him on the shoulder.
They don't mind pushing up Don Jr.
What I was gonna say
They should.
was
They will push him up.
That
Fox
would be
was the
terrible.
first person to announce Arizona, and they have
Were
been
they
getting guff
Yeah.
from all the other stations because they said Arizona was biting.
And
So Fox is
I don't want to just crap down Fox's throat too much because
I know.
I do that all the time.
But that
MSNBC
was
televised.
visual. That was really visual.
MSNBC televised an
Not until you
empty
said it.
podium for Donald Trump longer than they showed Bernie Sanders' actual live.
You're
rally
talking about when?
when in 2016.
Okay, just for them to have context.
Yeah, in 2016 primary process, before Donald Trump was the actual candidate, when he was about to speak,
When he had everybody just sitting on their
yeah,
head.
they just showed his empty podium before he even spoke for more time than they showed Bernie Sanders actually there speaking.
and let's always remember, and this never be confused. MSNBC, CNN, Fox News, they are for-profit
For profit.
Yep.
For profit.
organizations.
And he's like tax cuts.
And it serves them better to sell sensationalism
And the fact
than
that
it
he
does
has been
facts or journalism.
Yes.
train wreck,
Yeah, that's good for them.
they have been
I'm
monitoring.
just saying,
the
there's
train
no clean hands in this
Right.
media
right.
Not at
debacle.
all.
Well, Bill Black does.
Well, yeah, exactly. No Black Thoughts has absolutely clean hands, and but independent media is really where it's at. There's
Yes.
very
The
little.
Young Turks, you got
Yeah.
Uzi,
You know,
you got
I-
ABT.
Yeah, those
By the way,
are-
we are bringing in all Spanish speaking news to y'all. Just
Let's
throwing
go.
it out there. Just throwing it out there to you. We're doing it big here.
What were you gonna say about Young Turks?
I didn't say the
Well,
Young
no, I'm
Turks.
just saying.
no, as in-
I don't.
You were gonna say something.
The Young Turks, I watched Savior and Hill. I think they're also all over the place in their independent.
Hill Rise.
But they're independent, but they're on the
Crystal
far
ball
progressive
and-
side. They're
and-
progressives,
and-
so they're independent.
But I mean, because you can't look, people. You have to, with all the information out there, you gotta be able to get your news from more than one spot. You just got to, because everyone
This
who's
is not your
giving,
grandfather's generation.
everyone who's giving you information has a reason they're giving it to you.
Yes.
And very few is that journalistic integrity.
Yeah.
And don't go with the intellectually lazy cop out of, oh, you got that on the internet. No, where on the internet did you get that? What else is coming from that source on the internet? Do you vet any of your sources? And then also, do you find any opposing on the political spectrum sources that may somewhat coincide with this source that you agree with?
And
Figure out what's on the opposite side. Like I listen to Rush Limbaugh sometimes.
Are you willing?
What the hell? You can't just tell people to be like,
You gotta
step
hear
your IQ up, and then I'm just gonna go like,
You gotta
snatch
hear
the
what the
shrimp.
opposite, what the opposing narrative is. That's how I know.
You know, if you told people to like step your IQ up to like
Hashim, you're gonna
to Harvard level stuff, but I'm gonna take this shrimp out of the gutter in the city park right after a Mardi Gras
Now
parade.
listen, you're gonna log on to this.
Do it to me.
You're
You're like, I listen to Russian law. What are you saying?
you're gonna log on to this rationale because sometimes these
I got
white
something for you.
supremacist narratives, these people that are purporting a white supremacist narrative will drag out a black person to say exactly what you think you want to
We
hear.
need to start doing
What
a
you need to
Candace
know
Owens.
is where did that talking point come from? So when I've heard it from Rush Limbaugh or from Sean Hannity, I'm like, oh,
I've
that's
never-
just a black face.
Okay,
Paris
I'm
Denard.
gonna-
Paris
I'm gonna-
Denard, for
I've
one.
never watched or listened to Rush Limbaugh. I've never watched or listened to Sean Hannity, and I never let that shit slide. So I don't have to do that.
But you can see it coming a mile away without having to do
I don't have to do that.
It's good to know when
Yo, I gotta smoke meth to get skinny. Oh, the other ways.
It's literally apples and oranges. But okay,
There's other ways. There's other ways.
but when Paris Denard comes on CNN,
Oh,
it's not because Paris Denard is a valuable news source. They want you to hear what line of BS there is out there.
well, that's not.
There's a cutting edge to that
No,
knife.
it's because it's selling the
There's a cutting edge to
sensationalism
that
part.
knife. It's not the
Yes,
sensational.
it is, man. Your statement should be a pure I statement. That's how you have to process
There
it.
was a guy.
Everybody doesn't have to process it like that.
There was a guy.
No, not everybody, but some people could.
There was a guy on Fox News named Shepard Smith.
Right.
And I would
There you
assume
go.
Shepard Smith.
Yeah, he's actually.
See?
Very
See?
good.
See?
I don't have to watch Fox
Thank
News.
you. And you
don't have to watch it.
automatically in your head, you're like,
No. No, that's not why.
You know where he's at now?
Swami, you can't read my mind.
You know
I'm
where he's
telling
at? Go ahead.
No, I'm just simply telling you. I don't.
Because Shepard Smith
Why
was
do I
the
look at you
only
like that?
person on that network who I could listen to because he was saying the truth. And he was preaching the truth to the other side. So we needed to listen
On
to
Fox
him.
Juan
News.
Williams.
Thank you.
No, hold on Fox News.
Thank you. See?
I'm
Yes.
asking-
Yes.
Okay.
He was on
So
Fox
how
News.
much has that changed from Fox News? How much of Fox News viewers changed and like, yes, I realize truth.
No,
Do we have to talk about Fox News?
All right,
I really
so
wanted to
Fox
go
News
low.
versus
No,
Fox
I
Opinion
got
are
to.
two different things.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Fox News versus Fox Opinion shows are two different
Burn them
animals.
down.
They're two different animals.
All right, go ahead. Go
That's
ahead.
very
All right, so
Go ahead.
I want to talk locally. Locally for the state races, you know, the Dems did well. You did have some.
Hey, Rebecca,
strongholds.
respect our autonomy. If we want to die, we want to die. Sorry, go ahead.
So the race that we've been watching is the 18th judicial district attorney's race,
Okay.
and that's the race of Amy Patton and Kelvin. And that race, and it's weird because I don't know where these votes are coming from. It's gotten super tight.
How tight are we looking now?
50 votes. 49, excuse me. 273, 684 for Amy Patton, 273, 635 for John Calvin. It has gotten super tight. And I'm trying to figure out where these votes are coming from. So here's the thing. Douglas County, 125,000 votes for Kellner, 85,000 for Amy. Arapahoe County, though, when you count Arapahoe County has, excuse me, Arapahoe County has, I got the map up right here. 183,000 for Amy, 132,000 for Kellner. I think what's going on is they are counting the Arapahoe County votes still, and it's closed the gap. However, I would assume that the Arapahoe County votes, once they're done, would hopefully probably extend to Amy. But nonetheless, Amy holds a 17% lead in Arapahoe County. But that seems to be where the votes are coming from.
So now the question is going to be, who's done? Is Douglas County actually done? Is there a check mark on Douglas County on the map?
There's check
Because-
mark for nobody.
Okay, so last night, when they shut down everything, it was 89% counted in Douglas County and 81% counted in Arapahoe. So there was more votes to be counted in Arapahoe County.
Mhm.
So I'm assuming that it's tightening up. Say what?
I think what is happening, all of the Douglas County votes are going for Kellner. And there is a split in the Arapahoe County votes that we just were not expected. Period.
Although the
Yeah.
split is wide in Arapahoe County, she holds a 17% lead just in Arapahoe County alone.
What I'm questioning is if Douglas is reporting faster.
Right. I think
If they finish
Are
that,
they
are they
done?
done now? Exactly. Are we finished or are we done? Right? And then yeah, I'll go baby on you. And Douglas finishes, and then it starts spreading back out to which all too tight. I want double digits. I expected double digits.
I am afraid of Arapahoe County. I know Douglas County, so I'm not confused by Douglas County's numbers
We know
whatsoever.
Arapahoe County too.
That's what I'm saying. I know Douglas County. I know what she was dealing with, what she was up against in Douglas County. The question is, Arapahoe County and Aurora City being comfortable with the status quo, or being comfortable with that status quo.
That's the question.
And sexism is in there.
Sexism is in there. And then there's also that barbershop logic of I can't bring myself to vote for a progressive DA. There's no such thing as a good DA.
Well,
So skip it.
unfortunately, the government and everything, the society says we have DAs, so how about you step up and vote for one?
I can actually, and we can all vouch that for so much time when all the numbers and all the votes were recycling, that the DA numbers were staying virtually the same because people were undervoting their ballots.
Mhm.
People were not voting on this DA race. And whenever I talk to people, if they're saying that, oh yeah, I pay attention, well, who's your DA candidate? And that usually they're, huh? because they're not looking at that.
Right.
And they look at the names, and if they don't know, either they'll do a quick Google search or they'll not vote.
What I would want to know is the breakup of Republicans and Democrats in Arapahoe County.
And I've seen that, and you're right.
It's like 149,000
See,
Democrats.
On Arapahoe County site, they're saying vote totals are 100%. They're 100% in, which is 183,000 to 132,000. It's got to be Douglas County, so I'm going to go to Douglas County's.
We're waiting for Doug to finish.
Yeah, I mean
Douglas County process, they're 98%.
They're 98%. Okay.
Yep.
which would make
2% could go a long way.
which would be, and you gotta assume that 2% is all for Cohen.
No, it's been about a 3-1.
So right now, the percentage that's come in for Douglas County as it breaks for Amy, 40.49% for Amy
Yeah,
and 59.51% for Kelvin.
19%.
So that's more than
3 to
60,
2.
40.
That's more than 50 votes.
So that 2%, I hope those are damn undervotes or Amy votes. That's all I want.
I hope it's
What's 2%
the
of
area of Douglas County that likes Lowry's. Or
Yes. Or seasonal.
Or seasonal.
Yeah.
I don't know what part of Douglas County that would include.
I'm thinking it's going to be iodized salt.
I believe that seasoning extends beyond salt and pepper.
Yes,
It's going to be iodized salt.
Although a quality steak only requires good salt and good pepper.
I'm not
Hopefully
going- I'm
these
not
people in
going
Douglas
with that.
County like they steak cooked medium well or well.
So Douglas
I don't do no
County.
pink.
I can't go with that.
So I'm on Douglas County's website directly, their election website. So here's what's interesting. Biden only lost Douglas County by 14,000 votes.
What percentage is
That's
that?
pretty good.
102,000 to 116,000 doesn't show the percentage,
Okay.
but that's actually.
But doesn't that mirror?
So they voted for Biden and then voted for Republican DA?
How they wanted to bring us from Biden.
However,
That's all.
Gardner, yeah, I know. Cory Gardner dominated Hickenlooper in Douglas County. 124,000 to 95,000.
So you have people who are voting for Biden and voting for Gardner.
Gardner.
Mhm.
Although the
Good for hey,
well, no, the Libertarian
They're
got 3,000
principled.
good
votes.
for you.
Libertarian, that's pretty good. Libertarian got 3,000 votes, so that could have been.
I just want to recognize that Kanye West got 36 votes in Douglas.
And
If
Douglas
you voted for Kanye, call us. Give us your home phone number.
I love
Kanye voters, please
Just go ahead and post it.
call in. Let us know what is it in Colorado for him, like 4,500 or something like
I
that.
thought at the time it was like 4,500. I don't know what it is now. I have to go back
I
and
thought it
check.
was 6,000, but that's right, 6,000 of y'all voted for Kanye. Not even old Kanye, not even like college dropout Kanye.
Come on, college dropout Kanye.
Registration Kanye.
I'll leave you alone if it was that
Votes
Kanye.
in Douglas County. So, by the way, Jason Cole lost in Douglas County
Wow.
by 600 votes.
That's on him. He's
That's
still
not
a
bad.
congressman.
No.
I take that back. Correction. I'm sorry. Jason Crow won in Douglas County by 600 votes.
Okay, you won by 600.
But he's
That's
still a
interesting.
Yeah.
Shout out to
Douglas
everybody.
County's kind of got this.
Shout out to everybody.
Yeah,
Shout out to everybody who came to the show and did well.
absolutely. Jan Kulikowski, 336 votes
Man,
in Douglas County.
we needed those votes.
But Norm Olson picked up 1,100 votes. We both had Norm on the show. What happened? Because we are
Norm?
fair and balanced.
You know what? Norm Olson got lost in the shuffle after we had our robbery up here.
And that's why he
Yeah, he got lost in the
And
shuffle.
that's why you
we
lost
had
him.
Democrats that didn't get on the show. Representative Janet Buckner was approved to come onto the show. Representative James Coleman actually was attempting to log on when we realized our place was
We were robbed. Our
yeah.
our main camera got stolen.
and Norm Olson was also supposed to come on. That was right during that gap. We were trying to figure out how we're going to move forward. So there's people that lost in the shuffle. Ilana Spiegel as well.
Yes.
I was trying to get her
Yes.
some time. She has some family issues, and she's like, you know what?
That's
No,
right,
I'm going to go ahead and get this
Well, you know
on.
what? I mean, this ain't the end.
Yeah, this ain't the end.
No, yeah. Brian Nixon said he's going to come back on the show. We all know Amy Patton will come back on and talk about this. We got to debrief.
Brian Mason want to
He-
chit chat with
Yeah. Brian said he wants to talk. And he's not afraid to sit down and hear opposing opinions either. So let's have him on.
He's like, I won now. I ain't gotta pay shit. I ain't gotta pay no attention to nothing y'all do.
Ain't worry about that.
I'll burn this whole place down for all I care.
He legitimately won. So right now, the 18th is important. Understanding that the 18th will soon be divided, as we said before, it'll be just the three counties of Lincoln, Elbert, and Douglas will be one county in and of themselves, and it'll be Arapahoe County by itself. Honestly, I'd love to see the city and county of Aurora.
Yeah.
I'm causing controversy by that,
That's not controversial.
but I'd love to see it, personally speaking.
That was one of
I'm here for it.
So then what does that do to the Arapahoe County breakdown?
Well,
They can go hang out with Douglas.
Arapahoe County would be in trouble if Aurora left.
Right. So
But
Because
that's-
Aurora is 300,000.
so let me ask you again.
That is their tax base.
If we go to the city and county of Aurora, and we're doing all this energy right now to cause the split in the 18th and all this type of stuff, what happens with the 18th?
Well, the
Because
18th
Aurora wouldn't become the 18th.
it would almost effectively dissolve. Because if
So where would
Aurora
they
is
go?
gone, you
Where
have
would Centennial
Centennial, you'd have Centennial, you'd have Greenwood Village, and you'd have a little bit of Littleton.
So would they become like, will they go into the county of Aurora?
They can go in the county of Douglas.
Aurora will become the 25th judicial district.
So I'm saying, like, what happens to these
They
towns?
were made 18th. They just because they go from the largest county and combine with all of us. No, small.
But I think that was that conversation being had before they agreed to split off. It had to be at a certain point, they had to split off. Or the 18th was just too big. It's just too big.
Yeah, yeah, it is. It
And
is.
so at a certain point, they were like, okay, one of the solutions was Aurora being its own district, and another solution was we're just gonna split off Douglas. And the one that Douglas, Elbert, and Lincoln wanted was to split off Douglas, Elbert, and Lincoln and make them their own.
Yeah.
So
That's what it was.
Careful in counties, y'all.
So there you have it.
Colorado's a beautiful state.
Yeah. See it during the daytime.
So,
That's a different kind
At
of
the speed limit.
trying to get some live results here. It's still 264 to 214.
Have we had any contact with Ms. Penn? Just as far as, has
Not me.
anybody from the state or from anybody from the state, anybody from the election commission, anybody from Joe Lopez? Like,
I would need to end that zone and send a couple text messages.
They're saying like,
at a certain point, somebody's gotta pop up and say, okay, here's what's going on.
oh, keep your head up, keep fighting, we still counting.
I'm not talking about members of the party, I'm talking about members of.
We still counting. What you want to say?
At a certain point, I feel like.
Biden's up 3.1 million votes in the popular
Where?
vote. 3.1 million.
I'm-
He just crossed 71 million.
What's the next state we need? Since he keeps trying
Nevada.
to take us
Nevada.
away.
Nevada's all the
Keeps
time.
bringing us back.
Yeah, we're just waiting on Nevada. We're waiting on
Every
Nevada.
time we try to leave, something keeps bringing us
Nevada or
back.
Nevada? I say
Where Vegas
I say
is.
Nevada. Where Reno,
Is it Clark?
Vegas
Is it
little
Clark?
city,
No.
Clark County.
Yeah.
Clark County. That's yep, Nevada. Clark County has voted. 422,000 votes went for Biden. 362,000 went for Trump. That's in Clark County.
That's kind of close. I don't like that.
Well, it's close. But you should, if you
That's
spend as much
very
time in
reasonable.
Vegas as I have, you would see why.
Percentage reporting.
It's
Percentage reporting is
You
a lot.
gonna let that one just go by?
I'm just here.
Let's go to Reno. Let's
Oh,
go.
now you're here.
Oh, so Washoe County. I know I butchered that, which is Reno.
Watch your what?
117,000 votes for Biden. 107,000.
I can't do this. These
For
are the people that have like maids and butlers and
What are
good
you
health
talking
care.
about?
And all this stress that going through all this type of stuff and keep looking at this, looking at that. No, let it be. Let it be. This type of thing, if you pull that oven open one more time,
You inside or outside?
yeah.
Running my light bill.
My God.
We just trying to educate.
All right.
I've had it.
All right.
One more time.
What else? Is there anything else in this post?
Did you see what percentage reporting there was in Nevada?
See?
75%?
Take a picture of the game refrigerator.
85%? No, that's the most important number. He informed me that was the most important.
It is 75% remote
Okay.
reporting, and Biden has an 8,000 count lead. It's close.
God,
That's
oh,
close.
money. Put that phone down.
That's close. I guess
That's
is
it. No
there-
more
Is
questions.
there some hope for
Why are you
Pennsylvania?
asking
That's
no questions?
They're not even about Pennsylvania until tomorrow.
No.
There's a
They're not even
And
gonna
maybe the
start
day
now.
after tomorrow.
They're not even gonna start now.
Pennsylvania said maybe Friday.
So what are y'all doing to cause the stress? What are y'all doing to cope with the stress? Me,
Red Bull.
other than right now, I'm not hanging around people like them. I'm turning, y'all. I'm turning. I don't deal with these type of
What do you
conversations.
mean by you people?
I don't accept you people.
Welcome to the room.
He did win his county.
Strand.
We just can't move. We just can't move.
Scan line.
It's addictive, man.
It's not addicting.
You know, I was good to not watch any of this last night. I could have been like my wife and kids. They watched the movie.
Who would they watch?
I don't even know. It was some zombie movie.
Mandalorian?
I did watch that.
Is the Mandalorian? Is the new one out?
Episode one of season 2 did come out.
I don't
Friday.
fool with Star Wars, but I watched a nice
Rogue One.
space movie on Netflix called Prospect. You guys heard of that? 2018. It was a different take on space travel where the people were like blue collar space travelers and go different
You
planets
don't
and
deal
take-
with Star
do money.
Wars.
I don't do Star Wars, man.
What about Star Trek?
I was a Star Trek.
Yeah.
Hey,
Man, I was a Trek.
Disney, if you still want to sponsor the show, we'll get rid of Kevin.
That ain't even a question.
I was a Trekkie. Star Wars.
I like them
don't know.
both.
That ain't even a question.
I like it with it. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Jar Jar Binks broke something in me,
In
man.
memoriam.
Man, you know, in memoriam, like empty chair.
Yeah.
Like
Like make shit every show.
R.I.P. Man, go on.
Yeah.
Move on.
Yeah.
Hey, wish you luck.
Disney said this much.
Yeah. We wish you luck against new endeavors.
Right,
right. So-
Marcus is finished.
Yeah, I'm done. So right now, Nevada is too close to call. That sucks.
We're gonna be on the air until we get an answer. No.
And by we,
Michael,
flip that W upside down.
Mike,
Don't
don't
hit
hit
me.
15, Mike.
With that empty chair, we have an empty chair live.
So
How
the question is there gonna be a show Saturday? Let's hope.
We
Let's
would-
hope it's a show of positiveness.
Yeah,
mean,
right,
I
go
mean-
That's all right.
Just fireworks and just popping bubbly.
I can't get too happy because it's no blue wave. It's a blue splash because we don't have the Senate.
Yeah.
They
It's
felt
not
South
over
Carolina, you let us down.
there. South Carolina's like, y'all betting on the wrong horse. Like,
Yeah.
South Carolina kept looking at us like,
You
know who we
know
are?
that this is racism
you
capital.
understand?
South Carolina.
Even Lindsey Graham's like, all right, but y'all ain't gonna be happy. Even Lindsey Graham told
Lindsey
us-
Graham said, "Look at me,
Yeah.
look at him."
Even
Look at
Lindsey
me.
Graham explained to you
Look at
he was
him.
not gonna lose.
That's it.
But he made y'all feel better, so I'm very happy that for that.
Lindsey Graham, man.
Oh,
Lindsey
what
Graham.
self-respecting gay person out there that has had an encounter with Lindsey Graham that refuses to release those receipts?
They'll be in the investigative journalism. There was also a brother running for Senate out of Michigan.
Yeah.
Did his race get called?
What type of
I don't
brother?
know.
He's a preacher. I don't know if that
Big
means
B
he
or
knows.
small?
Was it Pastor Warnock?
It was he's running out of Michigan, and he was look it up. But he was running out of Michigan, and since they just called Michigan, I don't know if he.
Was he a Republican?
Yes, he was a pastor.
Small B.
Small B.
Which is
Small B
interesting.
black.
I still don't.
Small
that's
B,
a,
brother.
That's a subject for another day. Where is it that evangelical?
It must mean something different than what it means anywhere else.
You know that pastor that got caught.
All right, they're saying we got a lot of echo here, so I don't know what that is.
Is it that your computer?
Probably is. All right.
Brought to you by Apple.
The jealousy of non-Apple users is a past.
I'm never jealous of a fact.
Apple is the most. Okay, all right. Is there nothing else?
Hey,
Can we close this?
No. Weren't you asking about where they find these black folks around underneath the Republican Party and how can you be a black Christian pastor?
Evangelical.
Evangelical?
I
Yes.
don't know what that means anymore.
It's like amen.
Could you imagine?
There was that one video of that pastor that was going down doing mouth baptismals.
Sheesh.
Y'all didn't see that, pastor? Y'all didn't see
No,
that?
we did not.
No, I didn't.
I don't want to.
Oh my gosh. I will make sure you all have that in your inbox. Yes, I will.
No.
Blocks.
I'm just Y'all don't remember that? Oh my God.
Sheesh.
You can only send me video or voice text from now on.
All right, Kevin.
You know, I ain't got anything else. Be patient.
Be patient.
Be patient.
That is hard.
And learn your lesson. Learn the lesson that America is more in love with racism, then they give a damn about anything else.
68 million people are okay with it.
Yes, it is your kink, America.
Hey, if you got kids at the border and they're separated, that's okay. But don't you dare abort that baby. That's the conversation. Let's be real.
The only thing I'll say is, going out is, remember, this is the most diverse electorate that we have ever had. There are more women and people of color that have been elected to Congress. The amount, even Trump losing, he has the most votes ever by a losing person or losing candidate, and even Biden winning, he'll have the most votes by a winning candidate.
Yeah.
Remember that. You have to be involved. You have to vote. If you don't like the candidate, then become one.
There you go. Well,
That's a big one.
And if you didn't vote, I don't want to hear a single word from you.
Nope.
Stuff it. Keep it
Facts.
to yourself.
Yeah.
Other than that,